Today, I'm joined by Benjamin Štuler and Edisa Složić from the Research Centre of the Slovenian Academy of Sciences and Arts. Welcome both of you to the Caspio podcast. So let's start with introductions. Benjamin, can I ask you to please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Benjamin Štuler, a researcher at the Institute of Archaeology at the Research Center of the Slovenian Academy of Sciences and Arts. It's a bit of a mouthful, I know. My work focuses on archaeological methodologies, so especially how digital technologies are reshaping the way we discover, analyze, and understand the past. I lead projects that blend remote sensing, spatial analysis, and curating digital data to push, And at the heart, I'm driven by how landscapes preserve human stories and how modern tools can help us read them in entirely new ways.
Thank you, Benjamin. Edisa, can you share?
Hi, I'm Edisa Složić. I work as a researcher and project manager at Research Center of Slovenia Academy of Science and Arts at the Institute of Archaeology, where I explore how technology can support archaeological research and study of cultural heritage. That's basically it.
Thank you, Edisa. So obviously we've spoke before, and I think you've got a fascinating use case that everybody's going to really enjoy hearing about. So Benjamin, from your side, can you please explain to everybody what the company does?
Of course. So the Research Center, the long name of the Slovenian Academy of Sciences and Arts, is Slovenia's leading research institution in the humanities. So it's home to 18 institutes and a hub of groundbreaking projects and vibrant cultural events. One of its standout institutes is the Institute of Archaeology, where both Edisa and myself are based. Our team leads some cutting-edge studies across all archaeological periods, combining traditional expertise with modern methods like airborne laser scanning and archaeobotany to uncover the deep history of human life. So as Slovenia is conveniently located between the Alps and the Mediterranean, our research is primarily focused in this part of Europe.
Great. So I know we're going to be talking about the ARKAS platform. So can you explain to everybody what that is? And then we'll talk about where you've gone into ARKAS 2.0 and obviously the application as well.
So the original ARKAS platform was Slovenia's national register of all known archaeological sites. And it has quite a remarkable history, actually. So, for example, it was available online even before the standard internet protocols were fully developed in the early 1990s. So over the years, ARKAS became a foundational tool for archaeological research, storing data on more than 8,000 sites, over 30,000 analog photographs, and more than 7,000 pages of field reports, and of course other stuff. Thus, while it began as a comprehensive registry, its role gradually evolved into a more research-focused tool, supporting in-depth scientific analysis and some long-term archaeological investigations.
Thank you for sharing that, Benjamin. So Edisa, from your side then, what really inspired the creation of ARKAS 2.0?
So when I started my new job, I became actually a person that is responsible for this ARKAS database. And I took a big responsibility preparing over 30 years of collected data for the future. So, but system it turns out the system kept crashing, and even on small security updates caused big failures. And it was clear that this was not sustainable, and we needed to fixes, not just fixes, but we need to rebuild entire system. So that's how I started with working with ARKAS.
So that sounds like you had some challenges there. So did you have some priorities going into the rebuild, both functionally and from a research workflow standpoint?
Yes, we were limited very with the budget, and in our in-house we did not have IT personnel, that could provide us any help. So budget was zero. The time was very limited for me. And this was a big challenge that I was thrown in right away, and that's how I I got the on platform of Caspio. Caspio saved me, actually.
That's good to hear. Benjamin, I can only imagine the decades of historical data. How did you change that and transfer it into a modern, flexible platform?
Indeed, this was without a doubt the central challenge of the entire project. So it was a massive, detailed, heavy task, and frankly, there were no shortcuts.
Yeah.
First, we had to reverse engineer the old database structure to understand how everything was connected. Then we stripped out what was outdated or no longer relevant. And then we added the elements that we knew we'd need moving forward. So one example of that is the digitization of our analog photo archive. So this was not part of the original ARKAS system, but we knew it had to be a part of the future. So we built in the structure to support it, and we're only now starting to gradually release this content. So, and only after this groundwork was done could we really start to shape and implement the new system.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking about how did you get from your idea to a working prototype? What were the key milestones?
Yeah, so on the back end, which was more my work, the key to our speed was consolidating everything. So analysis, design, development within a two-person team. And so because we weren't handing off between departments, we could move fast. We used low code and some AI augmented tools to prototype functionality on the fly. And since our backend the new backend was based on a lean 5-table structure, almost flat, we didn't lose time dealing with legacy complexities. And so thus this all helped us to quickly achieve the milestones. Yeah.
Benjamin, what were some of the must-haves as you were putting kind of the ideas together and obviously working towards the prototype? What were the things that you thought we need to have this?
So again, from the backend point of view, we needed that it was all about flexibility and maintainability and performance. So the old structure, the old database, as we mentioned, it was evolving since the 1990s.
Wow.
Was from the modern standpoint of view, it was very complex because it needed to run on the hardware that existed back then.
Yeah.
But now we needed a structure that was light enough to manage internally, but robust enough to grow with evolving research demands. So that meant flattening the data structure, minimizing relationships, and replacing many-to-many relationships with URL-based links and triggered actions. And this reduced not just the technical complexity, but also our long-term maintenance overheads.
Yeah.
This was one of the key things we were looking at. And so, all the intention of all of this was to make it possible for us as archaeologists to keep full control over the development without relying on external IT departments and similar.
Yeah. So who actually are the end users then, Benjamin, that are using the application?
So the end users are archaeologists, so research-oriented archaeologists,
Yeah.
but also other types of archaeologists, the field archaeologists on the one hand. On the other hand, there's also cultural heritage specialists, but also we cater to just general public. So it's, as everyone knows, it's extremely difficult to provide a product that can serve such a specific different types of audience.
Yeah. You mentioned before that you were using AI during the build. What kind of task did AI help you with?
So we were using so as Caspio is low code, but that still means that there are cases where you have to deal with formulas, SQL queries, and some JavaScript to extend the functionality, as everyone knowing Caspio knows. So in these cases, we use various AI chatbots to draft the code, fix bugs, or clean up snippets of code.
Yeah.
That's what we do today. However, you have to keep in mind that we were building ARKAS 2.0 in early 2023. So back then, Caspio's forums and technical support were still the starting point at every step. At that time, ChatGPT, we mainly used it to explain how the code works so that we could customize it with confidence.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Edisa, from your side then, you built ARKAS 2.0 entirely on the Caspio low-code platform. What led you to choose a low-code approach versus traditional development?
Traditional development, I had a similar project and we done it with IT specialist. It took, for me, it took so much time, energy, and you have to account also administrative cost that in order to provide me and show a little bit of results, I had to make a lot of input in administrative stuff and meeting with ITs, and results were just not showing. The testing period was too long, and I needed a solution that was fast, quick, and simple. That was that Caspio offered me all of this that I needed, and that was the main reason that we went low code.
Yeah. Can you remember the reason why you selected Caspio? What was the driving factor?
Yeah, that was actually I think Benjamin started Googling around, and actually the solution that was presented to us was from ChatGPT.
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. So what does ARKAS 2.0 look like today, and how is it being used?
Today, we are very happy that we manage our database that is on Caspio, connect with the GIS, which is maps, real maps. So people are mostly using they're mostly focused. Our research community use this platform mostly first on maps and then goes to Caspio to see the data. So that was interesting to me. This the kind of change from the first ARKAS to the ARKAS 2.0. Maps are actually made great improvement also in usability.
It's great to hear. So that's ARKAS 2.0. What does the next version look like? Do you have something in mind what that could look like?
Now we are currently on one side, we are working on the data. I want to include all data that we have in our archive, but it's been digitized. So on one hand, we are working still with the data. We want to provide new data, and so data could be richer. But on the other, Benjamin is looking at more specific solution with AI solution with the AI chatbots that could improve interactive interaction with the data between Caspio chatbot and my work. So Benny, perhaps you can add at this point. I'm currently working on archive data, unfortunately.
Yes, so we already established since about a year ago, there's also an AI chatbot available on ChatGPT called ARKAS AI Data Analyst, which provides advanced statistic analysis of the ARKAS data. And currently it can only hold static data from ARKAS. So we import it manually occasionally. And what we want to achieve in the near future is that this connection would become live, so that indeed we would have a chatbot that would be able to interrogate the live data on the ARKAS platform.
Yeah, So just going back to when you started kind of the initial idea to where we are today, is there any learnings that you'd like to share with anybody, especially those public institutions or researchers thinking about rebuilding a legacy platform like this or a system? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, my advice would be don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. So, one of the biggest advantages of working with a low-code platform is that it empowers non-technical professionals like researchers, archivists, or public sector workers to build and adapt tools themselves. Now, I realize saying this out loud that it sounds like just some promo, but it's really I really feel that. And so, but this only works if you're willing to dive in and learn as you go. But it's a quick learning curve, and just don't fear it. It's really a matter of days, maybe weeks. It's not months or even years.
Great advice there, Benjamin. Thank you for sharing that. So, Edisa and Benjamin, thank you so much for joining today's podcast. I'm sure everyone's going to find your low code and Caspio journey fascinating. We really appreciate you spending your time with us today. Thank you.
Thank you.